So a few months ago, wants and fears were added to the game, and a few weeks ago I did a video on them. After posting, I realized, fears, pretty much all of you hate them, and I get it, they can be almost as annoying as me trying to play poker. So, is a 2 and a 5 good? Do you think I should go all in? Yeah. So friends, what can we do about it? Well, likely not much, but I've put together a proposal to try and improve fears in The Sims 4. Will EA notice? Who knows, but let's try. And of course, please feel free to let me know your own thoughts on improving fears in The Sims 4. Collective minds, let's make them better. Now we've established that fears are rather annoying, and I think this is due to their frequency. Rather than feeling like a fun event, they become oppressive and overwhelming, and they start to feel like an element of the game that you just want to go away. Like people who just can't understand how to play poker. Don't invite Petey. He doesn't know how to play. First up, I think we need to reduce the frequency of fears, like by a lot. Across the board, I would love if fears occurred about 30% as much as they currently do, and for some of our more annoying fears, such as the fear of unfulfilled dreams and the fear of a dead-end job, I would like this to be down to 15% as much as they currently do. This should hopefully stop Sims from winding up with like 5 fears at once, and potentially there should even be a maximum amount of fears that Sims can have at once, and I see this sitting at the 3 or 4 mark. Now let's address the fact that when we clear a fear, sometimes it comes back literally a few days later. When a Sim clears a fear, we then should have a cooldown of around like 2 weeks in which they cannot have that fear reoccur, and I also think that going forward, the chance of that fear reoccurring should be reduced by half, essentially making it much more rare. And hopefully this means that our Sims are coming across new fears rather than just the same fear over and over again. Clearing fears can be quite clunky too, with a task needing to appear in a spiky bubble near your Sims once, and only when that appears in the spiky bubble can you then complete it to clear the fear. It's this mechanism that makes it so you can only clear one fear at a time, and it makes it quite hard to deal with Sims who have racked up multiple fears. I think we should simply make it so that 2 spiky bubbles can appear at the same time with 2 different tasks, essentially letting us clear 2 fears around the same time, making it a lot easier to get rid of fears. But why not go further? While it's great that we have the Fear Begone potion that can be purchased to clear a fear, why not also add in a new trait? Dare I say the Fearless trait, which costs around 3,000 satisfaction points and stops your Sim from getting any more fears. I would also support the introduction of fear counselling. For a few hundred simoleons, your Sims will disappear into a rabbit hole where they will then receive a text-based journey. Answer it correctly and you'll clear your fear. Answer it incorrectly and you will not clear your fear. In addition, there will be a cooldown of a day or 2 before you can then go back to the fear counsellor and try again. You know, they have bookings, other people to see, things to do, lives to live. Of course, I am also all for making the toggle for wants and fears independent of each other. So you could toggle fears off if you wanted to, while still keeping wants on. Great, so now fears hopefully aren't annoying us as much. But how do we make them feel more rewarding? As of right now, clearing them simply gives you a confident +3 moodlet for 12 hours and 100 satisfaction points. I admittedly feel a little indifferent about the moodlet, but let's bump up that satisfaction point reward to maybe 250, and I feel this is balanced pretty well by the fact that fears will now be less frequent. But can we go further? We just overcame a fear, there's nothing holding us back anymore, and our Sim should receive a moodlet that correlates to them overcoming a fear that then has an added bonus effect that lasts for a day or 2. For example, the fear of unfulfilled dreams is caused by not completing wants. So after you overcome this fear, you should then get a bonus that for a day or 2 potentially doubles the amount of satisfaction points you get from completing wants. Overcoming the fear of cow plants could see your Sim gain bonus gardening experience for a day or 2, and conquering the fear of a dead-end job could increase your Sim's work performance for a little while. It doesn't have to be anything game-changing, but I think we have to flip the mindset of fears simply being a hindrance and an annoyance to them actually feeling rewarding when they are appropriately dealt with. I'd even support the Sims team going above and beyond and adding some funny, unique interactions for Sims who are suffering from certain fears. They could even make it so that for Sims suffering from certain fears, they could convince others to have that fear too. Although I'm a little bit on the fence about that idea if I do say so myself. Now before finishing up, I just want to talk about a few tweaks to make fears that currently exist a little bit more streamlined. Firstly, the fear of a dead-end job. It can come on after a single day in a new role not being promoted, and also when you are level 10 or at the very top of a career. We need to make that stop. That's not good. Also, when trying to clear the fear of fire, if you put out yourself when you are on fire, then this will not clear the fear. This can be really frustrating because sometimes when you put out yourself, you will also put out the surrounding fire, and when this happens frequently, it makes clearing the fear extremely hard to do. I think we need to simply make it so that putting out any fire that's out of control, including on ourselves, clears the fear. And while we're here, I would love it if thunderstorms from seasons at nighttime did not trigger the fear of the dark. That would give me life. Alright friends, now while I've been quite specific in some areas, overall this is a relatively rough proposal, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you like, what you don't like, and other things that you think could be implemented to make fears a part of the game that we all enjoy. And we're at the end. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed or found this helpful, then please subscribe and leave a like. I would really appreciate it, and have an amazing day. See you later.